pretty clear, but let me double check. All right. Um, all right. Looks decent. All right. Yeah. Rest of my head. um. So I'm back. Hopefully, you guys can hear me with these new earbuds. They've been giving me some problems. Um. What am I going to say? So the midterms are upon us, and I already have election fatigue. That is that is the subject of this live stream. I already have midterm fatigue. There's people already coming to the door. Uh, Everywhere I go, I see built, poster boards up for the local candidates. My mother even mentioned when she went to this restaurant, she saw some candidate, and one of her friends was talking about, "Oh, he's so tall, blah blah." Blah. So I don't care. I'm not voting for someone just because they're black, much less whether I find them physically daunting or attractive or whatever. I don't care. On top of that, I'm not vote. I live in a blue state, a very blue state, especially where I live in Baltimore County. Very blue, team blue all the way. I'm not voting for a single fucking Democrat in the midterm elections. And I don't even really care about the midterms this year. I didn't care about them last 4 years ago either, to be honest. I didn't even bother with the midterms back in was it 2022. I didn't care less, but I care this time just because I want to vote Westmore out of the office, out of the governor's office, and I don't care who replaces him. Basically, he needs to go. So I'm just voting anti-democrat down the ballot. Like Maryland is shit. Like Maryland is so fucking unaffordable right now. It's ridiculous. This is one of the big. This is one, not the only, but this is one of the reasons I planned on moving back overseas several years ago, and wish I had. I still will, but now I have to build my finances back up. But this is one of the reasons why I want to get out of Maryland. It way too is way too expensive living here. A lot of folks who there's a lot of folks who, because of that reason, have actually moved to like places like Pennsylvania, or I even know someone who lives in West Virginia and works in Baltimore City and will literally make that commute from West Virginia all the way to Baltimore City. Well, one of the reasons was she stated that, when she got married, she married a husband who didn't want to live in Maryland because he thought it was, for him, he thought it was the state was too liberal as well. But they live in West Virginia, which is a much cheaper place to live. And so she said she has no problem commuting back and forth. I I could not do it. That is a long ass commute from West Virginia to Baltimore City to be doing every day, but I get it. Now, Pennsylvania, depending or if like, well, I know some people who commute from Pennsylvania to the city, and some from Delaware. We used to do that when I was in high school. We used to commute from Bear, Delaware. Don't ask me where Bear is. It's in the middle of fucking nowhere in Delaware, but To be honest, most of Delaware is the middle of fucking nowhere. I'm sorry. Like, unless you heard of like Wilmington, Delaware, or Dover, Delaware, and they're still unimportant. Wilmington is like a Wilmington is like a wannabe Philly. Dover, I don't know what to say about Dover. But we didn't even live in any of those two major cities. We lived in Bear, Delaware, which is a town in the middle of fucking nowhere. Most of the people in Delaware are or were employed by DuPont, the company. And the only thing exciting about Delaware was it was tax free. Uh, I mean, when I say tax free, I'm talking about like no sales tax, whatever. And no, it's like no sales tax. And Christiana Mall was really nice back in the '90s. I assume it's still nice now. I haven't been since the '90s, but I assume Christiana Mall is sort of like it's sort of like the Mall of Prussia in Westchester, Pennsylvania, which is in like right outside of Philly. Is in Westchester. Um, but anyway, a lot of folks would rather commute from Delaware, Pennsylvania, North Virginia, or even as far as West Virginia. When I say North Virginia, I'm talking about Virginia, the state. Not I'm not saying North Virginia as if it's a separate from Virginia. North Virginia is just the region around the D.C. area. The um, this part of the Virginia Commonwealth, but is more considered part of the greater Washington, D.C. area than. Um, but anyway, so people would rather commute from Virginia, Delaware, Pennsylvania, or even West Virginia than live in Maryland because it's unaffordable. And on top of that, a lot of people don't like the electoral politics in Maryland. It's completely unaffordable. We have a governor who's completely oblivious to this. And on top of that, he's taxing the poor. He's literally taxing the poor with some of these ridiculous taxes because he found the state in $1 billion deficit, which he's made worse. But the state is in a $1 billion deficit, so he decides to tax the shit out of people to make up for that. And it's like dumb shit. Like it's expensive now just to like go to the MVA and get certain services. As far as like just regular services you need at the MVA or DMV, depending on where you live. DMV, MVA, the same thing here. Um, like there was even a tax I think put on like salty snacks or some shit like that. Like, I, look, I don't care, but look, it's too expensive to live in this state. And truth be told, I am a die in the wool patriot. Don't get me wrong. I'm a vet and I'm a patriot, but I don't even want to live in the fucking country anymore. To be honest, it has nothing to do with like politics per se. Because I voted for the current president and I stand on that. Um, I just don't want to be here. It's too unaffordable. I don't like the people I'm around. I just want to be gone and back in my adoptive country, which is the Philippines. And like I said, because of the midterms, you got people walking around soliciting you for their candidates. I get it, that's their job, but it's annoying now. Like I don't know why I bothered talking to this guy several days ago. I don't even remember if it was like Monday or it was last week. Like these days are just blurring to me. Um, that's something I have to work out. That's a side issue. But anyway, um, and he's talking to me about this candidate Pat Young, who's running for, I think, county executive or something like that. And I don't even know the guy's politics. The only thing I saw that I liked was that he wants to protect veterans. I'm like, cool. But I think he's a Democrat, so on that, I'm like, nah, I'm not voting for a Democrat. I'm sorry. Unless I personally know the person, I'm not voting for them if they're a Democrat. I just hate how Democrats have ran this state into the ground, particularly Baltimore City, and Baltimore County. Like, it's not safe. That's another thing. It doesn't even feel safe here anymore. I live in the suburbs and it doesn't even feel safe. I should at least feel safe in the suburbs. It doesn't feel safe around here. And my mother even confirmed it. Like when she looked up, like she gets updates about the crime stats in the area, and it shows how you know all the stuff that goes on around here, and it makes sense because I've seen shit myself. But it's not safe. It's unaffordable. Like who the fuck wants to pay more for a place that's crime ridden? Then on top of that, because a lot of the crime is done by young people, they don't want to fucking prosecute them. What's up, Carlton? Sorry, you catching me in a rant. But get some water. But yeah, you probably already saw the topic. Like I'm already with election fatigue, and the midterms haven't happened yet. I was you caught me in the middle of the rant where I was saying some guy came to my door earlier this week, campaigning for a candidate for county executive in Baltimore County named Pat Young, and he's talking to me. He seems cool. This white dude. Then he's asking me, do I want to show my support for the guy? I was like, well, I'll look up information about him first. I'm not going to just go by what this guy's telling me and say, oh yeah, I'm for this guy. Like how like do you think I'm an idiot? Like just because you talk to me for like 2 minutes, I'm already gonna be like, okay, I'm voting for him. No, the fuck. Like I guess that works on low information voters. Like they 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 go by vibes. Like, oh, I like his vibe, so I'll vote for him. No, fuck that shit. Like, first of all, I need to know what party you're running for. Because like I say, I'm not voting for another Democrat in this area. The, it's unsafe here and it's unaffordable. That's a double whammy. First of all, just on the economics alone, like ever since the Clinton era, like Clinton had it right with his with his mantra, it's about the economy, stupid. That is the most important thing that politicians can remember, but somehow they always forget that shit. It's about the economy, stupid. Carlos says vibes can get you in trouble. Exactly. I don't go on vibes when it comes to politicians. What are you offering me? But here's what makes it worse, Carlton. Then the dude was like, not only was he saying, am I going to throw my support to this guy? I'm like, no, I'll look it up before I do that. Because he didn't tell me which party the guy's for, but I already know he's like a Democrat, so that's already a no go for me. But then he was like, or he said, would you like to, uh, give a campaign donation, say of like $20? I'm looking at him. I'm like, no, not today. I'm sorry. I really wanted to like just kind of elbow him in the face, like a slicing elbow, just like this. Fuck you gonna ask me for $20 for your candidate? Like if he gets elected, he makes money, not me. Why would I pay money to support someone whom I also need to vote for? What the fuck does that have anything to do? How am I gaining in the situation? That shit makes no fucking sense. What leverage am I getting in return for not just only my vote, but for a campaign contribution? These motherfuckers got me fucking twisted. Yeah, I wanted to slice an elbow thing. Yeah, I wanted to slice an elbow. You come to my door begging me for support for your candidate whom I've never heard of before, and then asking me for a campaign contribution. Like I get it, that's his job. Cool. But are you out of your motherfucking mind? Asking me for excuse my language, guys. But yeah, asking me for some goddamn money for someone I don't even know about to help him get elected so he can get rich. What the fuck am I getting out of it? So I can say, oh yeah, I voted for him. Man, that's shit. He said he should give you 20. I that's funny. I literally said that to myself after that, the day after that happened. I was literally thinking that like when I went for a run because I was seeing all these poster boards of all these candidates. And I was like, the nerves of these motherfuckers coming to people's door asking for someone asking for support for their candidates for the election and then asking for campaign contributions. I was like, if you are the one who needs to vote, you should be giving us money. I was like, you should be giving me the $20. You shouldn't be asking me for $20. You should be giving me $20. You should be giving me $20 saying, here, look, uh, I'll give you $20 uh, in exchange for not only your vote, but put can we put one of our posters up in your yard? Cool. Yeah. If you were paying me for your support, I mean for my support, I'll be all for it. Like, yeah, give me 20 bucks. Give me 20 bucks and you can put your signs in my yard. But the fuck you want me to pay you $20 to support you for a vote that I get nothing out of? He said dude was probably scamming. No, the sad thing, Carlton, he isn't scamming. Like this is legit. Like this is what they do. I guarantee you'll have someone come into your door unless you just don't answer the door, which you know, I don't blame you. The only reason I did answer the door is because I thought it was my nephew. If if I knew it was like some random schmuck, I wouldn't have answered the door. I mean, again, he was nice and he wasn't too pushy with it. That's the only thing I do respect is though, even though he was like as a salesperson, I could see how what he was doing. Like he moved on from, you know, you gonna show us your support to you would you like to make a campaign contribution and here's a flyer so you can learn, know more about the candidate, blah blah blah. Like I respect the hustle, especially because like I said, he was doing it well. Like he wasn't too pushy. Like he wasn't someone after you say no, he keeps going. He keeps trying it. Like you tell him no and then he pivots to the other thing. So that was good. So he wasn't pushy. He didn't come off as he didn't come off, you know, in a disingenuous way. So I respect that. That's why I didn't shut the door on him or be like, man, get the fuck out of my face. I wasn't. I'm sure he did get some of that from people though, but I just it was because it's not him per se that I'm mad at. It's it's all of these candidates in general. It's the whole political machine that thinks that thinks it's okay to go around asking random people for campaign contributions for a politician who probably already makes good money. It's like fuck you. Like I this is why when people be thinking I'm just like some when I'm because I did support Trump and I lean conservative in some of my views, even though I consider myself a classical liberal. I do lean conservative in many of my views. Like people think I'm just a political shill on here, and that's far from the case. The actual fact of the matter is, I really hate electoral politics. That's the true thing. I hate electoral politics with a passion. But that I was like, man, he should have been paying me $20. I mean, it wouldn't have been a lot to him, but it would have been a lot to me. You know what I would have done with that $20? I would have went up to Popeyes and got that one piece meal so I can so I can be more like Monkey D. Luffy with the gum fruit. Because that was serious. Like with the one piece meal at Popeyes, the drink they give you is supposed to be like the gum fruit drink. I want that. I might maybe I'll get it this shit. Maybe I might get it this weekend. Because it's I still want to look. There's a whole bunch of fast food I want to get, and I don't because I got a budget. But I wanted to get the Popeyes one piece meal. I still want to try the McDonald's Arch Burger. Burger King has changed their Whopper around. I don't know how they changed it, but supposedly it look they're making the burger look like it does in the commercials now. It's not all mushed together. And I can confirm working at Burger King back in the 90s, we did used to mush the burgers like so that's not that's true. But all of them did it. Burger King wasn't unique in that regard. Like Wendy's used to mush their burgers, McDonald's mushed their burgers. Like I think the only ones that didn't was White Castle because it came in that little cardboard thing. But whatever. Carlton says $20 could go to your gas tank too. Exactly. $20 to my gas. But I'm not I don't have a car right now, so um I don't need it for that. I could lie and say I need it for gas though. Shit with with it being what I think it went down to 398 now. Last time I checked, I think it's 398. But since I'm not driving right now, I don't really have to worry about it. I just take public transit or Uber when I when I'm going out. But man, like I said, that could have been a one piece meal for me. Or there's this new store up at the mall next this up the street from me, where they had this. It's like a it's like a store for geeks. It's called Curio Trading Card uh Trading Card Game Store, and they sell all sorts of trading cards, but they also sell like vintage video games, vintage stuff like Beyblades and other um trading card stuff. But they also sell like bunch of anime and manga stuff. They sell comic books. They sell like all the little statuettes and stuff like that. There's a Batman Pikachu that I wanted to buy. And I was like, no, I'm gonna get that next time because I almost I almost got it the other day. I'm like, nah, let me wait till I get paid before I buy this Batman Pikachu. But I want this Batman Pikachu. Batman and Pikachu fusion. Man, I want that. Now I think my friend bought one. He bought a few things. I can't remember what he bought. I think one of them was the Batman Pikachu, but at the time they only had one of them. But when I went up there, they had a bunch of them boxed. So I want to get that Batman Pikachu. So yeah, it's a bunch. Either way, there's a bunch of stuff I could do with that $20, or I could add that to my money, so I could go get a nice hot stone massage because my my legs have been killing me. So I would love to go get a hot stone massage, but I'm trying to be within a budget, So I'm a married man, so I try to maintain a budget. But yeah, that $20 would go nice. Like I said, more than likely it would have went to some fast food. I probably would have more than likely I would have got that one piece meal at Popeyes and then bought me some fruit snacks with the remainder. He said, get you some Raisin Cane's chicken. They don't have one near me. The food be looking good as shit though. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've seen the Raisin Cane on Instagram. It looks good. There's none near me. Also, there's a Geno's Steaks that came to Baltimore last month. Like Geno's Steaks is famous in Philly. There's like Geno's Steaks, and then there's uh, Pat's. Um, and they're like they're like rivals. They're both in South Philly. The funny thing is, I think for most native Philadelphians, they don't even really go to Geno's or Pat's like that. That's Geno's and Pat's are really. I'm not saying they aren't good. I'm sure they're good, but I've never been there when I lived in Philly. Like they're mostly for tourists. Like most people who live in Philly just go to the local deli, like their corner deli, and get like a sub or a hoagie. like get a like like I said, when I lived there, I ate many Philly steaks, many hoagies, but it was always at like the little corner deli because I could literally go. It was it where I lived. It wasn't even down the block. Like literally, the corner store was uh, like right there because we lived because I lived almost on the corner. Then when you turn that corner onto Market Street, it was right there. Like because sometimes we would buy our groceries from that place. Like it was like a little wait, I can't remember if it was the deli and a yeah, it was like a deli bodega sort of thing. But yeah, sometimes we would buy like groceries from there. Like if we didn't have to buy a lot of stuff. But I've never went to Geno's or Pat's. So when they opened a Geno's Steaks here in downtown Baltimore last month, I wanted to go because on opening day they were actually giving away free Philly steaks, and I was like, I'm not gonna try to wait in line for one of those steaks. I was like, I already know that all the little dope fiends are probably going to be in line way before everyone else because they're going to be up because the dope fiends are already up by 4 o'clock in the morning anyway. So, because they know they gotta get their shit because Baltimore has open air drug markets downtown. So these little junkies are gonna be out there already posted up in the line for 5 a.m. trying to get their cheesesteak. And then they probably gonna try to sell it for some fentanyl. Hey man, I get I need I I got this I got this cheesesteak. But yeah, I do want to try Raising Canes because they they did they did just open a new one somewhere in my area, but it's not local. I mean, it's not local to me per se, but it is one like within I want to say within an hour's drive. Carson says I got to hit up Philly one day and get an authentic cheesesteak. Oh, yeah. So you never been to Philly? So I'll tell you this. Like I said, all the tourists go to Pat's and Geno's, but I'm gonna tell you off the bat, like go uh, when you go to Philly, get connect with someone who's like a native, because they'll take you to a better spot. Pat's and Geno's are not the best places to get a cheesesteak. They're just the most famous, but they're not the best, which is two different things. Like they are way like I said, a local corner deli in like West Philly is probably going to have a better cheesesteak than Pat's and Geno's. Not that Pat's and Geno's are bad, again, but they're just commercial. That's why everyone goes there because they know the names, Pat's and Geno's. Like, but yeah, go with a native Philadelphian, and they'll probably tell you the best one to go to. Because honestly, I wouldn't know the best one to go to, and even if I did, I haven't lived in Philly since the '90s. So more than likely, whichever one is like considered the best right now is probably going to be different than when I was living there back in 1992. Like no shit, yeah, 1990, yeah, since 1992. Graham cracker dash D5Z for every country you name, you get 10 cents worth. Super chat. I will donate in 2 minutes. Really? Wait, so do I have to mention them all within 2 minutes, or are you saying you would donate with uh in 2 minutes after I mention all these countries? Because I can name hella countries. Shit, I'll name countries that don't even fucking exist anymore. Oh, so it has to be within a 2 minute bracket. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to go super fast, but I'll name a few just to see if if you're really going to do it. So we'll start the clock. Uh, I'm gonna start it at in 5, 4, 3, 2, one. So United States of America, Canada, Mexico, El Salvador. uh, um, what's some more? Lithuania, Estonia, United Kingdom, France. Uh, did I say Russia, Poland, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, Lesotho, South Africa, Ghana, Egypt, Chad, Iran, Iraq, Morocco, Mauritania, Chile, Peru, Paraguay, Uruguay, um, Trinidad and Tobago, Jamaica, Bermuda, Australia, New Zealand, Thailand, the Philippines, mm, Indonesia, Malaysia, China, Taiwan, South Korea, North Korea, um, Guam, Cambodia, Vietnam, Laos, Burma, aka Myanmar. Mm, are we still going? um, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, um, what else? India, Pakistan, um, that keep going. Argentina, Venezuela, Colombia, Dominican Republic, Panama. I got seven. Okay, cool. Thanks. Like I said, I didn't want to just speed through it. But yeah, cool. That's fun. Thanks. That was fun. But back to our regularly scheduled program. So again, I'm just facing election fatigue. Like I said, midterms haven't even happened yet. I'm already tired of the post. I'm already tired of seeing the poster boards. Like, it, oh, the Carlos is nice. Like I could have kept on going. Like I literally like I could have just kept naming countries until I got tired. Because I would donate $5, then $2 after because I didn't. It doesn't let me donate $7. Okay, appreciate it. Appreciate it. If you got if you got some more for me, let me do that too. I just it's just fun. Like you take a geography class and you rarely get to exercise. Like you rarely get to use your geographic knowledge unless you like a geography major, which I wasn't, or you end up doing GIS. GIS is big in the Washington Beltway. So if you're if you're if you're a young person and you want a good major in the Washington area where you're not doing government and because the biggest things obviously in the Washington area is politics and government, right? Um, but like if you lean it, so like say you like STEM, like you want a STEM major, but you want to do a STEM major that's involved in like government and will pay you well in like the Washington region, GIS is good, which stands for Geographical Information Systems. It's like it's like information. It's like taking it's sort of like computer science for stupid people mixed with geography. I think that's the best way. I think that's the best way to kind of look at it. But it's like it's a STEM major. Not too many people have heard of it, but it is a popular occupation and major at well it was a good major at my on my alma mater at University of Maryland. because the University of Maryland is poised right at the border of DC, we get a lot of government agencies that stump on our campus for career day. We'll have a regular career fair, and then we'll have a career fair that's just for like government jobs, because literally all the government jobs come pouring in. And I'm pretty sure it would be the same as well if you go to George Washington University, Georgetown University, or American University, um, or UDC, or I'm guessing Howard as well. Um, I'm guessing a lot of people at Howard would probably, because it is in DC, would probably be offered those government. But yeah, but Maryland being the flagship campus of the state and being directly adjacent to Washington D.C., we got hella people coming in from literally every government agency was there. I mean, if you were look, you literally had the CIA coming there looking for people, especially if they were majoring in something like linguistics or computer science, stuff like that. That's the folks they wanted. Uh, FBI, like basically all federal law enforcement was there. Like I think they had probably a separate career fair just for federal law enforcement, and but they had like a career fair for just like all the government jobs. So going to a school in DC is great if you want to start a career in the federal government, because that is where they all come here to our campus. And GIS was a popular one. GIS is really good. Most of my friends because a lot of my friends they had started off in engineering, like either mechanical engineering or electrical engineering. One started in mathematics, and many of them switched over to GIS because it was easier than engineering, but it was still very lucrative. Graham says I'm trying to use Apple Pay. I mean, take your time, brother. You know, I'm not in any hurry. What I was saying though is like if you have some more trivia type stuff, let me know. I'll do another one of those. Carlin says I knew a guy that worked for the CIA. Yeah, so my like one of my buddies, I haven't heard from him since he got his job, but he ended up getting a job in the Secret Service. So it was a cool friend of mine, this Vietnamese guy. When I came to Maryland, we were both transfer students. Like I transferred from community college. He transferred from University of California, Irvine. He said he didn't want to be there because he was from California. He was like, it was just way too many Asians on campus. He wanted to be at a campus that was more diverse. So he transferred here from California. Plus, I think his older brother lived out here. Shit, I know his brother was doing well because his brother gave him a fucking Acura to drive. His brother just gave him his Acura to have. I don't know if he let him have it or he just let him drive it, but either way, shout out to my boy Ed. And um, he he ended up working for the Secret Service. Like the funny thing is, so it took him a while. So uh, a year before uh, he had to wait like over a year for his background check and all that to go through. Which, looking at it now, that didn't take that long. A year being this for the Secret Service, but what happened? Wait, I'll have to check that out later, Graham. Give me a second, brother. But it doesn't. Yeah, it you space the flags out, because when you do it like that, my AI moderator uh reads it as spam as you spamming the emojis. So kind of space them out so it doesn't it doesn't come off like spam. But anyway, so here's the funny thing, Carlton. So while he was waiting for his background to come in for Secret Service over the summer, um, yeah, I think this is the second year we not the first year. Yeah, the second year. So when he was waiting for his background to go through after the second year, he he went to work at the Playboy Mansion. I was surprised that didn't hurt his chances, but I guess not because it was a legitimate job. So he ended up doing security at the Playboy Mansion over the summer, between school years, while he was waiting for his background to go through. And he was telling me like this is like 25 years ago, right? So uh so he- what's his name? He was still alive. The Playboy leader. What's his name? Herbert. Hef, Hef. You know who I'm talking about. Um, I can't remember his name. Uh, Her. What was the guy's name? The Playboy guy. I can't remember his name. You know what I'm talking about. Always walked around in his little cigar cigar robe. And so my friend Ed was like, "Yo, he was cool as I don't know what." He was like, when he was doing security on there, he was like, there was so many of these Playboy models walking around the mansion, and he was like, you can mess with these women except for whom he was with. He's like, the women he was currently messing with was completely hands off. But aside from the women that he him that Humphrey or whatever, what is this guy's name? Now I gotta look it up. I hate that. I hate every time I get on live and I can't remember a name, and then after I get off the live, then I remember what I was trying to say, and that always happens to me. Former Playboy boss. So I think his daughters took Hugh Hefner. That's it. Yeah, Hugh Hefner. But yeah, so he was like, Hugh Hefner was cool as hell. He's like, he would just walk around with his bitches basically. He was like, the ones he was messing with was like hands off, but aside from the ones that was hands off, like um he was like, you pretty much had free access to the women there. He like, it sounded like he had fun working there. I was like, how do you even get a job like that? Like, how do you apply to end up doing? I wish I could have done security at the Playboy Mansion over the summer. Man, that would have been so freaking fun. But like I said, after that, he did like one. I think he had one semester left, um, and then he got his job with the Secret Service. And I hadn't. Then I didn't hear from him ever since. I saw him one last time. Well, not saw him physically, but I got in contact with him one last time once he was already in the Secret Service, because he had a he had a page on, I believe, MySpace. It was the I think it was MySpace or the old Facebook when it was called the Facebook back in '04. Because by '04 he was already gone. He had already graduated. I had graduated as well, but I was still on campus because I was doing a triple major. And plus I had to take a year off because I had got deployed. So um, I had I had got in touch with him around, I'm gonna say around '05. Yeah, it was around '05. But I'm thinking that was his MySpace page because MySpace was still up. People were still using MySpace in '05. Matter of fact, that was the bad time for MySpace because I remember a lot of people getting into relationship trouble in '05 on MySpace because everyone was posting their relationships on MySpace and stuff. The problem was people weren't being very cautious and they were having like multiple relationships and putting them on MySpace, but you can see everything that they post. So if someone's saying they're your girlfriend, but then they also saying they're someone else's girlfriend, you can see that. Like it's not secure. Like you can close that off on Facebook. You can kind of be slick with it. You couldn't be slick with it on MySpace. Anyway, back to the point. I think I got in touch with Ed on either on MySpace or the old version of Facebook, but I think it was MySpace. And that was the last time I heard from him. And it showed him in Poland. And I'm like, oh, cool, he's in Poland. Although he might have just been posting that from Poland, but he might not have been still currently in Poland because if he was practicing operational security in the way that I think he probably would, because he's a smart dude, that was probably where he used to be and probably wasn't where he currently was. But I'm assuming he probably was actually in Poland at some point, probably not at the time when I actually got in touch with him, but I haven't heard from him since. But yeah, my original point is like, yeah, on campus you could get into any government job you want if you qualify because literally every government agency comes to the University of Maryland campus. So it is a great place for anyone who wants to get started in politics and government. Great place. Anyhow, Maryland should be paying me for that. But no, that's my alma mater, so I'll rep. Carter said that's crazy. He should write a TV show. I'm going to put on my glasses to check out these flags that Graham uh, put up. Um, the first one, I'm not sure. I'm thinking that's Australia. The second one, I'm not sure. I know it's a Latin American country, I think. I'm not sure. I always see that one, and I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it's El Salvador. The third one, I have new. Third one, I don't know. Is that Indonesia? I'm not sure. The fourth one, Brazil. Fifth one, I think it's Mexico, but I get that confused with Italy, but I'm gonna say Mexico. Sixth one, I think is I don't know. The sixth one, I think maybe Denmark. The seventh one, maybe Ghana. The last one, I think Colombia. Graham says, "Are you good geography?" When I say geography, I don't mean like as far as just naming countries. Like geography encompasses more than like you have like physical geography, biogeography, cultural geography, political geography, and um, car- uh, was it and like cartography, which is an aspect of geography, I guess. So, well, basically, generally the earth sciences. So, Carlin says early social media days exposed a lot of people. Yeah, man. Now I think I told you how about the earliest one was like Black Planet. Like when I came on the campus in '99, everyone like they used to ask everyone for their like what's your Black Planet page? Like you would ask I don't know what they would ask for now, probably Instagram. Um I remember when I came back to campus on the Humble, I came to the first look fair because the first look fair was always like something for like the undergrads to like advertise all the different clubs and stuff on campus. And I came to the first look fair because I was also trying to find my old professor to get. I wanted to get in touch with him, and so I walked around the first look fair to grab some like freebies. And these guys were like, are you on Twitter? Because we put out a lot of information on Twitter. This is in 2013. I was like, no, I don't actually have a Twitter page. He was like, here, you can sign up for it real easily. So I just that's when I first got my Twitter page was in 2013 because apparently that's how a lot of people communicated. Now, most people don't communicate by Twitter because they find it to be too toxic, especially after Elon took it over. So all the liberals on campuses don't fuck with Twitter anymore, or X. They're all on Instagram or Blue Sky or TikTok. Um, but yeah, they would probably now ask for like your Instagram or your TikTok. But yeah, back then it was like Twitter. But when I first came to campus in '99, after transferring from Montgomery College, shout out to Montgomery College. Um, what everyone was like, what's your Black Planet page? And there was also collegeclub.com. And besides Black Planet was actually part of a family of social media websites. They were all like interrelated, but for different races. So you had Black Planet for Black people, although that was the biggest one. So white people, Latino people, and Asian people also used Black Planet, but that was the biggest one out of all of them and most, prevalent, the most prevalent group, of course, were Black people. But you also had Magente, which were for Latinos. Then you had Asian Avenue for Asians. Um, then the funny thing was like 5 years ago, I found out, or that was longer than that, like 6, 7 years ago, I found out that Black Planet came back as an app. So, and I think it's still up, or I don't know, but they tried to come back as an app now. Uh, but that was the thing, Black Planet. Then it was like Friendster and MySpace. Friendster is what started social media influencers, largely because of Tila Tequila. I'm gonna go out on a ledge and say Tila Tequila is probably the first like influencer, although she ain't shit now. But she was probably like the first like social media influencer. Tila Tequila. She went from Friendster to MySpace, then to Facebook. Of course, by the time she came to Facebook, she was irrelevant. That's when she got into all her weird shit, becoming a Nazi, even though she's like Vietnamese, doing porn. But she did well as the first or one of the first media influencers. She got pretty big in her day. Like she had got her own reality show on MTV. She had sponsorships back then before she crashed out and decided to become a Nazi. And she, like I said, things were going left for her when she did porn. Um, but yeah, like I said, so like I said, back in the day, it was like Black Planet, but if you preferred, it could have been, instead of Black Planet, you might have preferred Asian Avenue or Magente. Um, it was collegeclub.com, which was, I think that was more niche, the collegeclub.com thing. There was a high school club.com version as well. So if you were still in high school at the time, um, highschoolclub.com was basically the equivalent of collegeclub.com. Um, and then, like I said, the first one that really went like like viral was like Friendster. and then MySpace was like and was sort of like Friendster, but an improvement on it. And then there was a bunch of other ones back then as well, but they never got as big as the other ones. Like there was a bunch of like lower like second tier social media websites back then, right? The wifey's back. Hold up. Yeah. Um what was I gonna say? Um yeah, I'm trying to remember all the names of because there was so many of them, guys. Remember then they remember before before Meta had did their little augmented reality thing, there was already something out there back then called I forgot, it was like called Second Generation or something like that. It was like a social media site where you were like it put you in like a little virtual world. But it was that. Now I don't think I ever used Friendster. I remember it, but I never used it. I went on to MySpace like everyone else did. Remember, and I remember on MySpace, everyone had a like everyone like all the girls had like their music loaded up on it. Some of the guys too. Black Planet was the most notorious. Like every page was like either SpongeBob or Aaliyah, and you could put like once they started allowing you to embed music, that was a thing with like MySpace and Black Planet. Like back then we knew how to use like uh what do you call the programming language? We we knew how to do all that stuff back then. Like we were putting in our own like we were basically creating our own web designs on these pages because everyone knew how to use what you call that stuff. Uh, I can't remember. Jeez. But like you could, but basically you could embed your own music and your own designs on these web pages on MySpace and Black Planet and stuff like that. Something that Facebook didn't allow you to do. But some people preferred the more streamlined look of the early Facebook because it didn't allow because a lot of people were annoyed with all the garish embellishments people used to add to their MySpace and Black Planet pages. Plus, because of all the music and all the graphics people used to put on that page, it would take longer because we had older our computers weren't as powerful as they are today. So it would take longer for us to for their pages to upload. And it's like you don't feel like waiting 5 minutes for someone's page to upload because they want to play all this goddamn music on their shit. They got all these little glittery images of SpongeBob. Especially, I think that was definitely a Washington PG County thing with all the SpongeBob shit. But I don't, whatever. What time is it? Oh, it's late. Anyway, I'm about to go. This was supposed to be a rant about how much I hate electoral politics and how the midterms already got me fatigued. I'm like the elections aren't even until November, and again, I'm already over it. I'm already over it. I swear, if another person comes to the door and asks me for support for a candidate, I'm gonna ask them for money. I'm gonna ask them for money. I'm like, oh, you need my support? What do I get out of it? Because I was like, I sure could go for that one piece meal right now. I sure could go for a nice a nice Big Mac or a Whopper. Just saying. Like, why do they want me to pay them campaign contributions to the candidate that they want to get elected? What do I get out of giving them my money and my vote? The fuck? I guess that works on the weak minded, but to me, it makes absolutely no fucking sense in the world that I should pay someone who needs my support. That doesn't make sense. If that makes sense to any of you, you can break it down for me in the comments. But I'm gonna go because I'm tired. It's already late. It's like past 9 o'clock now. It's like 9:17, I believe. Anywho, I'm out. Take it easy, guys. Peace.